So, a crackle of sheets was heard as students hurriedly arranged the pages on which they had written their assignments. They were eager to speak in front of their classmates. They all were, as we have learned in the starting of the chapter, they were very much thrilled and enthusiastic to tell their classmates that what they want to become, or who is their role model, or why they like the particular person. It was Ajit Basu's turn first. So there was a student in the class named Ajit Basu, and from Ajit Basu the speech started. He spoke of how he wanted to become the best cricketer in the world. Sachin Tendulkar was his idol. He was followed by Gayatri Chabra, who said that she wanted to be a social worker like her mother, and Sanjay Damle elaborated on the thrill of flying an airplane with the air and clouds as his terrain. Terrain means a piece or a stretch of land. A stretch of land. So now the students started speaking. Some of them started. First was the Ajit Basu who wanted to be a cricketer. He spoke about that, and Sachin Tendulkar was his role model. He wanted to be the best cricketer in the world. Then the next student was Gayatri Chabra, who wanted to become a social worker, as her mother was a social worker. The next student was Sanjay Damle, and he wanted to fly an airplane, and he also elaborated or explained the thrill that is associated with that job, with the air, how they will move the aeroplane within the clouds, and then how they will come back to the land. So these were some of the speeches given by the students. The class listened in rapt attention as one by one the children spoke about actors, sports stars, politicians, and so on. So the class listened in rapt attention. Rapt means completely fascinated. Completely fascinated by the stories of the other students, why they have chosen a particular role model, what was the quality which they liked about that person. So they were talking about the sports stars, they were talking about the actors, they were talking about the politicians, and the people from various other fields of the society. When Kabir got up to speak, his hands shook slightly and beads of perspiration appeared on his forehead. Now, this was the chance of the next student. His name was Kabir, and when he got up from his place to deliver his speech, his hands were shaking slightly, and there was sweat on his forehead. Perspiration means the process of sweating. So there was sweat on his forehead. He was not accustomed to facing the entire class and speaking out loud. He was not accustomed. Accustomed means this was not the usual thing for him. He was not very much familiar with, like some of the students are not able to speak the things in front of all the students. When the teacher asks same student the same question, When no one is around, the student is able to give the answer. But when the same question is asked to the student in front of all the classmates, then the student is not able to answer. So this was the kind of tendency that Kabir was having, that he was not very much familiar with facing the class and speaking out loud in front of all his classmates. He knew that he did not have a flair for making speeches. Flair for means he did not have that ability to speak in front of people. You can note it down for your homework that you will tell me. You must have learned or you must have heard about the phobia. So what do we call this? The fear of speaking in public. In the next class, I'll ask you. So he knew that he did not have that talent of speaking in front of the people. However, he had worked hard on this assignment and had written it from the depth of his heart. He was not able to speak, although he had done all his preparations related with the assignments. He had also prepared his speech on the paper. But when his turn came to speak it in front of the classmates, he was not able to do it properly. It was different from the others as it did not focus on any one person, profession or quality. It was a combination of traits and people from different walks of life. People who had stirred Kabir's heart. Means so far the students, those who spoke, those who delivered their speech, they were talking about one profession, they were talking about one quality of any person, or they were talking about one person only. Like the one who wanted to be the best cricketer, he was admiring Sachin Tendulkar. He gave the example of Sachin Tendulkar. But here the speech that was prepared by Kabir, here he was not talking about any one person, one profession or one quality, but he included a number of people from different walks of life in his speech. People who had stirred Kabir's heart means those people who had some great impact over Kabir. Clearing his throat, he began. Means now Kabir started delivering his speech. When I grow up, I want to be like Lieutenant Colonel Sankalp Kumar, who was martyred fighting militants at Jammu and Kashmir on 5th December 2014. A hush fell over the class. Now, so far the students have mentioned some of the very famous personalities. Now, here Kabir started that when he will grow up, he wanted to be like Lieutenant Colonel Sankalp Kumar. And why? Because he was from the army who fighted militants at Jammu and Kashmir on 5th December. Now, after hearing this, there was a pin drop silence in the class. When I grow up, I want to be brave like Major Sandeep Unnikrishnan, the young National Security Guard commando who laid down his life fighting the terrorists in Mumbai in November 2008. Kabir continued. Now, the first name in the list was Lieutenant Colonel Sankalp Kumar. The next name in the list of Kabir was Major Sandeep Unnikrishnan. And why? He was the young National Security Guard commando who laid down his life fighting the terrorists in Mumbai in November 2008, the incident that I described in the introduction of the chapter. There was a pin drop silence in the class again when the students heard the second name. No one moved. No one uttered a word means none of the students spoke even a single word in the class. All of them kept looking at Kabir without blinking. Everyone was looking at Kabir that why so far he has mentioned two names, but why he wanted to be like that, or what would be the next name that he was going to tell. Sandeep Yonikrishnan had made up his mind when he was in class 3 that he wanted to join the army. When he joined the army, he served two tenures. Tenures means a duration for which a particular person is assigned on a particular designation or post. Like in India, the one tenure for the Prime Minister is of 5 years. Once the Prime Minister is elected, he will remain the Prime Minister of India for the next 5 years. So that is one tenure. So when he joined the army, he served two tenures with his battalion in counter-insurgency and counter-terrorism operations before becoming a part of NSG in January 2007. Now he started elaborating about Sandeep Unikrishnan that when he was 3 years old, since then he wanted to join the army, and when finally he joined the army, he served two tenures with his battalion, one in counter-insurgency, insurgency means rebellion, and the other one the counter-terrorism operations. Before becoming, finally he became the part of NSG in January 2007. So, Major Unikrishnan was deployed. Deployed means he was moved into a position for military action on the 27th of November to clear Hotel Taj of terrorists. So when he joined NSG in 2007 and when this incident happened in 2008, so on 27th November he was moved to that place to clear Hotel Taj of terrorists. This was the duty that was given to him after joining the NSG.